What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jerome. I'm here today with a review for the Real Housewives of Dallas Season 3. I think this is episode 4. I'm not positive. Let me double check. No, this is episode 6. And this episode is titled Smashing Friendships. So without a further ado, let's get the video started. Alright, so I'm going to start my video out with the nothing less scene that I saw this whole episode, and that was with Cameron. It's 6:30 in the morning in here in Dallas, and she's with her kids, and she FaceTimes Court, tells him that she's getting ready to head out to Orlando, Florida for the Global Dog Expo and all that kind of stuff. He wants her to get a distributor, or else it's bye-bye to Sparkle Dog Food and all that kind of stuff. She's talking about how she's taking she's not taking the jet. She's going, charter and getting a rental and all that kind of stuff. and then, that's basically it. She's just going to Florida for the Dog Expo. All right, and then we have Brandy. She is, talking with her girls. She's trying to get them prepared because she has a social worker coming out to, talk to them about, everything. And Brandy lets us know, just because the baby is with her in her home, it doesn't mean that everything is, 100% done. Because she has to go through the social work and stuff, just to see if she's a good fit for him and all that kind of stuff. And even with that, it can take up to 6 months and all that kind of stuff, which I know nothing about the adoption process. I was adopted, but I was adopted at 14 years old, so I okayed my whole adoption. But, it's kind of cool to see see it with a baby. So it's really cool to see this. So, like I said, she was talking to her girls. She wants her girls to basically tell that she's a good mother and all that kind of stuff. And then, they do a flashback 5 weeks prior when she first met the social workers. And one of her daughters said that her mommy's favorite drink is wine. I'm like, ooh, shit. Like, that's not something that you really want to say in front of the social worker. They're gonna think, is this woman an alcoholic and all that kind of stuff? But obviously she's not an alcoholic that we can see. So it was cute. So then the social workers do come, and they're asking Brandy some questions about all that kind of stuff. When he starts crying, what soothes him and all that kind of stuff. She said walking, and then one of the little girls said she don't walk that far. And then she's talking about how she reads to him, and one of the girls was like, I find that hard to believe. I'm like, oh shit. Her kids are just as brutally honest as she is, which she said to herself, her kids are just like her. Which I thought it was really cute. This was a really cute scene. I enjoyed seeing that. So, I really did like that. It was cool. It's cool to see a different side to these women's lives. Especially when Brandy going through this whole adoption stuff, is really nice and refreshing to see it. Have the drama, but have some real life shit involved in it as well. So I'm actually really enjoying the season of Real Housewives of Dallas. Okay, so we have Deandra and Leanne. They are going out for coffee. And Leanne is talking about how she wants to have this smashing good time where, all the girls get together and they smash shit. And basically this whole event is for the girls to get together to share, to be vulnerable, and, to smash it. And the reason why she wants to do this is because, with all the girls now being friends with one another, she feels like there's still a level of fakeness with them. She don't feel like they're as open with each other as they could be and all that kind of stuff, which I get where she's coming from. It's kind of as if, they are cool with each other, but they've kind of just swept stuff under the rug and they're not really talking about it and addressing things. So I definitely get where Leanne is coming from with that one. And then, she asked Deandra about the, the business and all that kind of stuff. So basically Deandra is still, unsure of what she wants to do, because if she does, however, leave, take her company and separate it from her mom, Deandra's going to be completely on her own for the first time in 49 years. She's not going to have a car. She won't have a car insurance. And, she won't have anything. She'll just be starting over fresh. And, basically she grew up with a silver spoon in her mouth. So it's going to be a transition for her to go from having everything at her, beck and call, to not having everything and to have to, learn how to be, frugal, have to learn how to not go on shopping sprees. She has a maid that comes and clean her house. And, basically Leanne tells her that she's lazy. Now, I don't 100% agree with the fact that, she's lazy. I won't say that. I will say that she is a little bit entitled. She's accustomed to a certain lifestyle, so that has made her. I don't know if I want to say dependent on someone else, but it doesn't. Well, I guess I will say it doesn't make her that independent of herself, because she's dependent on her mother's money from her company and all that kind of stuff. So Deandra's not 100% independent. She might be about 50% independent, and the other 50% she depends on someone else. So I hope that is the best. I hope that's not coming off in the wrong way, because I actually really like I say every week, I like all the girls with the exception of Cameron. All right, so then we got Carrie. She is still at her parents' house, and Deandra's coming over, and they're catching up. So Deandra is basically telling Carrie how her lifestyle is basically changing. Because of this whole, she doesn't know, with her not knowing if she's gonna, separate her company from her mother's and all that kind of stuff. And she just basically wants her friends to be by her side, because she said that she did have a friend who had money, but when she lost her money in the Dallas community, her friends left her, and she doesn't want that to happen to her and all that kind of stuff. So then Carrie does tell Deandra that when they were in Beaver Creek, Leanne had a conversation with Carrie about Deandra only having $200 in her checking account, which Deandra got upset and all that kind of stuff. Which I understand. You don't want your friend to be talking shit about you behind your back about your finances or anything personal in your life. So I definitely get it. But Deandra's like, it's not that I only had $200 in my account. She says I have two accounts. And when she was in Beaver Creek, she just wasn't prepared to shop the way that she did and all that kind of stuff. And, the $200 in her account, I was like, how did she only have $200 in her account? But the stuff that she bought in Beaver Creek was over $4,000. Like, they didn't make a lot. The math just didn't add up to me and all that kind of stuff. And then shit, hell, if you only got $200 in your account, that's how you got shit. You had 200 more than I had in my account last week, so you did better than I did, shit. Real better than I did, hell, because I had no money in my account last week until I got paid. So there's nothing wrong with having $200 in your account. Like, it could be, one of your rainy day accounts and all that kind of stuff. Like, so, I don't know anything about the Dallas social life here. If you have to have, I'm pretty sure you have to have money to be a part of that clique and all that kind of stuff. I'm not a part of that clique because I don't have money, but if you have to have money to be a part of a clique, that's the stupidest shit that I've ever heard in my life. Like, why do you have to have money to be a part of a clique? Like, dumb as fuck. All right, so then we have Stephanie. She's sitting in with Travis, and Travis is talking about how he wants to do free education, and I'm assuming this is free education for the people that work at his company and all that kind of stuff. And he's going to send them to North Lake College, which is located in Irving, Texas. I know Irving, Texas very well. I have a friend that lives out there, and I do some other stuff out there in Irving. So, so then someone is at that meeting. She mentions, maybe doing a screening for dyslexia and all that kind of stuff. Stephanie loves it, but then she starts crying, and Travis is like, why are you crying? And I get it. It's because her son is, had his issues and all that kind of stuff. And then Travis also had issues as a kid and all that kind of stuff. So it was cute to see that scene. So once they finish that meeting up, Stephanie and Travis goes to his office. So we find out that Travis is going to Harvard Business School for some time and to learn some stuff so he can bring it back to the business and all that kind of stuff. And Stephanie is just nervous about being by herself with the boys and all that kind of stuff. And, I think Stephanie's just been really hard on herself. Like, from what I see, you're a good mother. You can handle, and basically what Travis said, she can handle it. And I believe that Stephanie can handle it. I think Stephanie just needs to get out of her head and, tell herself, I can do it, instead of trying to, being down on herself. Just think positive thoughts and think positive, be positive, and just say, I can do this. It may get a little bit overwhelming, but, I got this. And that's just how I feel, Stephanie should do with that. Just speak it into his speak positive vibes out there, and positive stuff will happen for you. And I'm not saying that she's negative, but I just didn't like her down on herself and all that kind of stuff. All right, then we got Leanne. She is meeting up with her friend. His name is Steve. He is going to help her plan her wedding and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sitting here side eyeing Leanne because I was confused. Like, so you're planning a wedding, but you don't have a wedding date set. Like, no wedding date is set, but you're planning a wedding. So, Rich does show up. But when Rich showed up, you can clearly tell Rich did not 100% care about the planning of this wedding, because everything that he was asked, the wedding planner was asking Rich, he was kind of blowing it off and all that kind of stuff. And Steve asked how many people are coming to the wedding, and Leanne says 11,000. I'm like, that's a lot of fucking people to come to a wedding. Like, okay, like that's a lot of money to be spending out for food and all that kind of shit. Like, hell no, give me 200 people. Hell, give me 100 people and I'm fine. And Rich says he doesn't know that many people. He don't like that many people. So I'm like, well, there goes that one. So then they start talking about trying to set a date and all that kind of stuff. But Leanne does say, how about November, which Rich agrees to. And here's my thing: November of 2018 or 2019, and what day in November? Because you got Thanksgiving in November. So no shade to Leanne and all that kind of stuff. I was just trying to figure out, was that well, actually no. They filmed earlier this year. So is that November of this year, which is 2 months away, or is that November of next year? So they didn't really say, but I did see on Twitter that the wedding planner does have a page dedicated to Leanne and Rich's wedding. So he will be posting information on it. So go check that out. All right, so we got this smashing event. It's at the Anger Room, and it's actually located over here in Addison, Texas. So I'm gonna check that place out because it really did look fun. So Carrie's talking about how she's never done anything like this before, and then Stephanie comes and joins them and all that kind of stuff. So then you also have Brandy and Deandra. They are together. Looks like Deandra went and picked up Brandy. And I was correct about where Brandy lives at, what area she lives in. So she lives because I know that area very well. She lives in the Willow Bend area. So for anybody like Cameron who talks shit about where Brandy lives living in Plano, first of all, there's nothing wrong with Plano. And Willow Bend area, that area is up and coming, and it's not that far from Frisco. And if you know anything about Frisco, Texas, if you know anything about Dallas and Frisco and Plano, you do know that out there in Frisco, that is where Jerry Jones has that training stadium for the Dallas Cowboys. So if you want to talk shit about it, like Plano, Frisco, Allen, McKinney, and all that kind of stuff, those are new up and coming developments. Whereas Highland Park is old, it's older. So, I don't see how you can talk shit about people. Because, like I said, the area is booming. It's a lot of stuff out there. You got Willow Bend Mall. You got Stonebriar Mall. Like I said, you got the Star. You got Liberty Mutual in Plano. It's a lot of shit out there. Like, so for her to down that area, like, I love Plano. I love Frisco. I love all of that shit. Allen, love that whole area. So, fuck you, Cameron. That's just how I feel. So, while they are in the car, Deandra's telling Brandy about how Leanne told Carrie that she only had $200 in her account. Now, we got a different story this time. And I think what it is that Deandra was just a little bit embarrassed. So what it is she had $200 in her spending account. And like I said earlier, she just wasn't prepared for the spending that she did in Beaver Creek, which again, that is understandable. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying, I went out of my budget. There's nothing wrong with saying that. And Brandon says to Deandra that what she said last year, that Leanne is her friend, but if you have a weakness, Leanne plays onto that weakness and all that kind of stuff to her own advantage and all that kind of stuff. So they actually Cameron shows up to the anger room, and they ask, she just flew in from Orlando, and they ask her how the trip went. She said it was fun. So then we get the whole group together. And then, Leanne says that the group has been fake and all that kind of stuff. And Deandra gets upset, and she tells her that she told Carrie that she only had $200 in her account. And it's like I said, Deandra was just basically embarrassed and humiliated and all that kind of stuff. She felt like somebody that she's been friends with for 10 years shouldn't have said something like that, because she knows stuff about Leanne, but she's not going to tell Leanne's secrets. So why did Leanne tell her secret? Which I definitely get it. And then Cameron, she loves to butt in. It's like nobody was talking to you, because she was like, well, I didn't hear Leanne say anything about that. This was a private conversation between Leanne and Carrie. You were not invited, so of course you didn't hear. Like, shut the hell up, please. Like, oh my God, you get on my nerves. So the thing with Leanne is, she thought that, what happened was, she thought that Deandra and her mother would have got into an argument about this money situation and all that kind of stuff. So she felt like, since Carrie and her are friends with Deandra, maybe she could have a little bit of backup when she goes to talk to, Deandra again. Which I definitely get what Leanne was trying to do, but I do question just a little bit when it comes down to this. So you had a conversation with Carrie, and that's fine and all, but you're saying that you wanted Carrie to be there with you. So why come you didn't have a conversation with Carrie, you, Carrie, and Deandra, so that this didn't come out the way that it came out? Because now it looks like you talking shit about her. And so they didn't, kind of let the situation die down. And then they start, playing with the smashing the shit and all that kind of stuff. So Leanne does come up to Deandra, and she apologizes to her and all that kind of stuff. And then Leanne is talking to Carrie about this, and Carrie's like, I didn't say it in a way that like you were talking bad about her. But Leanne is like, but that's the way that it came, from her. That's the way it came off and all that kind of stuff. And Carrie said, I was just checking up on her and all that kind of stuff. So, she was like, and she does. And the thing is, Carrie didn't want it to be like, oh, if it came out of the blue, then it would look like they were talking shit about her. So she'd rather it come from her directly than for it to come out later. And then she look at them funny and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, they're breaking the glasses and all that kind of stuff, the mirrors and all that stuff. And then Leanne gives them all the marker, and she wants them to write something on the marker. So y'all write little things on the marker, on the plate, and they throw the plate at the wall. So as Brandy is leaving, she's telling Stephanie that she's not sure if she should go up to Leanne and tell her, what Deandra told her about, her questioning her being friends with her and all that kind of stuff. But she does go up to her and she talks to her, and she tells her that, Deandra told her that, she basically was questioning, their friendship and all that kind of stuff. At first, Leanne didn't remember it, but then Deandra told her, basically what I said last week in my review was, let me get to know her and let me find out for myself if she's a bad person. Thank you for telling me, but let me find out who she is on my own accord. And Leanne then remembers what she said, and she's like, oh yeah, I did say that. And then once again, Cameron jumps her ass, and they're talking about, she and Leanne talked about Brandy and Deandra, and she feels like she's going to be a bad influence on Deandra, because she's never saw Deandra with that K-cup in her ass cheeks and all that kind of stuff. And I'm again like, Cameron, please shut up. Like, this ain't got shit to do with you. Like, oh my God, shut up. You get on my damn nerves. Like, Deandra is a grown ass woman, so how can she be a bad influence on Brandy? Like, well, how can Brandy be a bad influence on her? Like, shut up. Like, she gets on my damn nerves. And Leanne is talking about how she felt, because she felt like she and Brandy got close last year, but at the end of the season they were no longer friends with each other. So I definitely get where Leanne came from, but it's like I said, tell your friend how you feel, but let her form her own opinions of Brandy. But that was the Real Housewives of Dallas. Like the video, leave your comments, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later.